Hello, everyone. Welcome. Wait. I forgot to turn on one light. Anyway, that's fine. My face doesn't matter anyway, but welcome, everyone. I am DMPaulG. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Lore Academia Sages. That's right. Let's go. It's Monday. It's time to grind again. It's time to absorb some lore about the Moonshae Isles. And yeah, last Thursday we're supposed to. I have to skip a stream. I was excited to read Moon1-5 and 1-6, but fortunately, well, it's not unfortunate, but I got invited to. There was a birthday party or birthday celebration I had to attend. Had a few drinks, and I think it will be a good idea. I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. If it's a good idea to go on stream drunk, because I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to extract any lore the way we want to. If maybe if I'm a bit tipsy, but I don't know. I don't want to puke on stream too, so we don't want to do that. Anyway, for those who don't know, those who just joined us, and those who have no idea what I'm talking about, welcome again to welcome to Lore Academia. Okay, my name is Paul Gabat, also known as DMPaulG here on Twitch and social media. Hello, Ninja Girl. Welcome. What do? I write adventures, Dungeons and Dragons adventures. Most of the things that I write, so I publish it in DM's Guild, and most of it are for Adventures League, which is the 5th edition organized play system for Dungeons and Dragons. Yes. Also, one of my roles is also the one of the storyline coordinators for the Moonshae Isles, set in the Forgotten Realms, at Baldman Games. So, what that means is me together with my storyline partner Savannah Houston McIntyre, we kind of craft like an storyline, and then about what's gonna happen to the Moonshae next, and then we pass it on to like amazing writers, authors, and then they craft adventures, a series of adventures that dungeon masters can run and play. So right now me and Savannah are in the process of creating 6 Moonshae Isle adventures and 1 epic under the Malefic Delusions storyline. That's the name of it. And they're gonna premiere in Winter Fantasy 2023. Yes. Yeah. So if you're in the US, you can attend Winter Fantasy. That's gonna happen next year, February 1st to 5th. So if you can attend that, play Moonshae Isles Malefic Delusion Adventures, meet the authors as well. That's gonna be amazing, right? And hopefully one day I can travel to the US also, and then meet you guys, and let's enjoy new adventures together. Once that's out there, we're probably gonna run it a few more times at other events, if there's other events for Baldman Games during that period. And then we're gonna publish it to DM's Guild once they're all pretty, the layout, art, and everything, and more editing. And then we've incorporated the feedback on these adventures after the premiere. We're gonna publish it in DM's Guild, and then everybody can enjoy it. That's it. That's what we're gonna do. So there, yes. So 6 adventures and an epic, all part of a Malefic Delusion storyline. That's like 5 years after the Rising Shadow storyline, which is the latest one that was made for the Moonshae Isles, headed by Eric Mengi, the previous storyline coordinator for the Moonshae Isles. There's like a lot of adventures, 50 plus adventures, if I'm recalling correctly. And we're gonna read. Yes, you're right. I'm not insane. We're gonna read all of them here on stream. That's the reason for this, is for us to learn as much as we can about the Moonshae Isles. All right. But I stopped that for a bit because I found the Living Forgotten Realms adventure modules, and these came from 4E. Yeah. So for those who don't know, I'm a 5E baby. I played like in high school, third edition or 3.5, I think. Twice, three times, and then after that, that's it. And then I found fifth edition, started playing it, and now we're here. So I have no idea what's in these adventures from fourth edition, but I'm excited. We've read through Moon 1. They have like adventure codes, so Moon 1 to Moon 4, and we start to learn. We learned a few things. One, don't live in the Isle of Moray. Okay, if you have to choose on the Moonshae Isles, let me see. I should have the map open. Why didn't I have the map open? But one of the things that you should learn here is that one, do not live in the Isle of Moray. Actually, if you can avoid going to the Isle of Moray, great. That's one thing that we learned. Two, in Caracaladir, there's a lot going on. And let me see. Will it show the map? There we go. It's showing the map. Yes. In Caracaladir, that's actually where the High King resides. That's the seat of power. The High King in the Isle of Alaron. And what else did we learn? Is that it? That's all we learned. And then we don't like the parents of Daffyd, the chieftain. Yeah. We also learned about the Northlanders a bit. Especially King Ragnar. That's what you call basically the rulers of the Northlanders for like each tribe here in Moonshae Isle. So call them king. But the High King, which is like the ruler of the folk. Folk is like the native humans that live here. There are two humans. So we have the Northlanders, where the humans came from the north here, start invading, pillaging some villages, but of the folk. But then peace happened. But I don't think in 4th edition that has happened yet. Or it has. We don't know, because that's why we're reading this. We want to figure out when did the Northlanders and the folk, like double F, of the Moonshae Isles actually had like a peace treaty, and you know what? Decided, all right, we're gonna work together. I know it happened. I think it happened in the books, like the second trilogy, but not sure. So if you know it, you're in chat. Go. Tell us. When the moon hits your eye like a magic missile, that's Isle Moray. Yeah, no one cares about Moray as some of the people in Moray would say. You know, even though we've done a lot for the Isle of Moray, they still think that we don't care. But yeah. So now we're here. So what do we do here in the stream? What we do here is we read the adventures. We try to extract lore. This is not your typical D&D stream where we're with other people and play games. Those are great. We love to do that. We want to do that. But here we're all sages. So if you're here, if you're here with me in the Philippines, you can use this as your background noise as you try to go to sleep. While trying, hopefully, with your subconsciousness, you can learn about the things that we're saying here, we're discussing. If you're on the other side of the world, on your way to work, driving, or just chilling in your office or at home, then yeah, you could just sit here with me, learn about the Moonshae Isles. And if you're preparing to like run a campaign, if you're a dungeon master, you want to run a campaign in the Moonshae Isles, which is in the Forgotten Realms setting, this is the place if you want to learn more with me. All right, there. So that's what we're gonna do. Rule number 2, don't go to Moray. Rule number 3, if you're at Moray, get out of there. Yes. Yeah. So we've read 4 Living Forgotten Realms Moonshae Isle adventures, and let me check again in my computer. There's Moon 1 to 7. So there are 7 adventures. And then there's Moon 2-1. So 8 8 total. All right, so tomorrow we should be done with the Living Forgotten Realms adventure. If we do our things correctly, if everything here is nothing bad happens, if the adventures are not too long, we should be able to be done with these 4E adventures tomorrow. Okay? Enough of that. Let's go and start this. All right. Oh, by the way, yeah. Before we start, I just want to say I saw some game trailers from the Game Awards. Hades 2. I started playing Hades because I saw Hades 2 trailer. Looks sick. I like what I was seeing. Also, Final Fantasy 16, the trailer went out. Like, there's a new trailer for Final Fantasy 16. The summons, man. They're finally focusing on the summons. I want to write some mechanics about summoning in D&D. And one day, if I have the time, FF16. Ifrit is the main character. If you see the logo, it's like Ifrit versus the Phoenix. And it just made me realize it's like fire versus fire, but it's first one is fire about destruction, and the other one is fire about rebirth and healing, right? So, see the connections there and the symbolism and stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Anyway, let's do this. Let's do our job as sages of the Forgotten Realms. We're here to learn. We're here in the Lore Academia, and we're not gonna focus a lot. We are gonna talk about the mechanics, any interesting mechanics, combat encounters, monsters. We're gonna talk about them, but technically that's not what we're focusing here. We're here to learn about the lore, so that's what we're gonna do. Anyway, Moon1-3. The title of it is Black Gold. And then Moon1-4, the title of that is Black Blood. I thought the other one, like the third one, where we will learn about the fisherman, which is kind of like the overarching villain in this series, is going to happen in Black Heart. But I open Moon1-5, and it says Lost Love. So I don't think we're gonna learn about the fisherman here. I think this is like a filler episode. So if you watch like anime, you know, those that have like 200 plus episodes, like Dragon Ball, Naruto, or Bleach or something, I think this is a filler episode. So but we'll go over it because we might learn more about these things. Only 4E adventures made for Moonshae. For now, yes, because we're focusing on the Moonshae lore. Once we've become master of like Moonshae lore, then we can move on to another topic, like another setting or another place in the Forgotten Realms, or even outside the Forgotten Realms, right? So whatever is interesting. But for now, our goal is to learn everything about the Moonshaes. Like, if somebody asks us, what happened here? What's the name of this dude? What's the name of this person? We know the answer. There. Yes. Or go to the stream. You'll know about it. Or in YouTube, I post like the videos, the VODs. Go there. You'll learn about this and that. That is the goal. Okay. I mean, these are the only 4 I think so. There are some stuff I've seen from Sean Merwin, and I think they came from 4th edition, but they're not adventures. They're like source books, which has a lot of Moonshae lore, and we will go through that as well. Don't worry. But in terms of adventures in 4th edition about the Moonshaes, these are the only ones I was able to find. Yeah. Anyway, let's go through 1-5 Lost Love. Let's see if this is an interesting adventure. All right. Okay. So Moon Shadow, an old Eladrin adventure, has been missing for years. I forgot to zoom it. Zoom 110. There we go. Has been missing for years. Though long enough to be forgotten by man, an Eladrin's life is much longer than most. An old love seeks to learn his fate. This adventure begins or continues. Oh! The Fey Gates of the Sea of Swords major quest that started in MOON1-5 Lost Refuge, a living forgotten realms adventure set in the moon. So this is actually like a crossover adventure series. So this one is from the Baldur's Gate, I'm assuming. MOON1-5. That's gonna be Baldur's Gate. And then it connects. They probably left Baldur's Gate and now they're here in the Moonshae Isles. No, there were many Moonshae adventures for living forgotten. Really? I want to know what those are because I think I have the link. Let me try to get the link. You can get these adventures. You can get these adventures here. There. You can get these adventures there. And you can see that there are other adventures for other locations in the Forgotten Realms. But Wizards of the Coast didn't release all of them. Now that is a big problem. Right? That is a big problem. I saw on that list, the link that I just gave you guys, there's actually 2 more Moonshae Isle adventures there. And then I went on Twitter, asked Sean Merwin if these adventures were like released somewhere. There's a draft of them. And he said nah. Like best of his knowledge, the last 2 Moonshae adventures in that list on the link that I sent you guys don't exist. So you've got whole boxes of printed ones. Oh my! Is there like a digital version that we can find? Are they like posted in DM's Guild? No, we don't want pirated version. Everyone, no. The Omnians are the pirates. All right, there are Omnian pirates. There are Nordlander pirates. But we're not gonna do the same. All right, we don't want to be banned on stream. No. I do have the PDFs privately. Good to know. We'll keep it that way. All right, we'll keep it that way. Unless there's a way that it's publicly available. Somewhere where we can purchase them or yeah. Or if it's like in like the hard copies, if they're like available in Amazon, so we can try to get them and then read them here, that'd be great. Because we want to learn more. But for now, these are the ones that we got. Yeah. But good to know. All right. So there's like there's a rumor. I don't know. We can't fact check yet. But that there are more Moonshae Isle adventures. Okay. That's that gives me hope because I want to read all of them. I wanna read all of them. But yeah, anyway, so Eladrin adventure from Baldur's Gate adventure now crossing over to the Moonshae Isle series. And for those who are not aware, in the Isle of Gwynedd, which is where the kingdom of Seraphil is at. Where's our map? We need to show a map again. There we go. Here. And this is going to be the format of this stream. So we try to read the adventure, and then we get distracted by something, and then we talk about that, and then we try to go back. But yeah, this is how the stream has been flowing for the past week or so, and that's gonna be the format of it basically. So here in the Isle of Gwynedd, in 5th edition, or I think 4th edition as well. Again, we don't know. That's why we're reading 4E Adventures. The Isle of Gwynedd has been occupied by the Fae. It's now owned by the Fae under like the kingdom of Sarafal, with High Lady Ordalf as kind of like the ruler, and the seat of power here is in the floating isle, like their floating island. That doesn't make sense. There's an island here in Mirlock Lake, where the city of Carador is at, and that's where High Lady Ordalf resides. And there are powerful Fey creatures here in the material plane, and they are called the Moonshae. The Moonshae are actually Eladrins, so elves that changes form depending on, like usually on their, like they can change their form, like typically same as weather changes. So there's like autumn Eladrin, summer Eladrin, winter Eladrin, spring Eladrin. Yeah, so there. And the reason why I'm blabbing about all of this is because in this adventure, the adventurer is an Eladrin. So is that person a Moonshae, or just a coincidence that another Eladrin not connected to the Moonshae of the kingdom of Sarafal in Gwyneth is here in the Moonshaes? So yeah, I'm used to lords and organizations and such that I forget that certain places still have monarchies. Yeah. And so there's a lot of houses here, people of power. There's a lot of if you want to run Moonshaes that focuses on like political intrigue and things like that, this is the game. This is the setting. Honestly, this is why I like While Beyond the Witchlight a lot. The Feywilds have more Eladrin talk, and I've been told since. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, so let's go. Let's go with this adventure. So RPGA, sanctioned play. Now, I've been told that since this is a Live in Forgotten Realms adventure, technically it's an organized play adventure. It's not technically canon because it's not officially released by Wizards of the Coast. But it's technically the same thing with the adventures that we're writing now. So what we're writing now, the modules that we're creating are, part of the organized play system of D&D, which is, published by or created by Wizards of the Coast. But the adventures themselves are technically community created content. So it's not canon unless Wizards of the Coast tells us that it's canon. All right. But the reason why we're trying to learn as much lore from this as possible is because if the time comes that Wizard of the Coast say, you know what, this doesn't really have any problems if we say that it's canon. So okay, we can say that it's canon. And then when that happens, we're not gonna have any problem. So that's why we want to adhere to everything that has happened so far in the Moonshae Isles and continue from the history of events that has happened so far. Anyway, going back. Been saying a lot of things. Adventure background. This is where it starts. Moonshadow. That's the name of the Eladrin adventure. So I'll be taking notes as well as we do this. Moon1-5. So we have NPCs. Moonshadow, who is a Eladrin adventure. We have that. Moonshadow is a very, very old Eladrin Twilight Encanter. Is this a class? Twilight Encanter? Is this like a add-on special class, or just a NPC or like monster stat title or something? Because it sounds like it, because it sounds cool. So you have an Eladrin Twilight Encanter. I'm assuming that this is like a monster stat or something that is available Yeah. Won't be nice. Oh, thank you, Gory Gory Gaming, for the follow. Yeah, it's a monster stat. Okay. The NPCs are asked by his equally ancient lover, Lashana. Oh, we're so close to Lachey. We're like, I'm hoping that these are all like Lachey Eladrins. We have Lashana, so I'm hoping that, all right, we're so close. Tell us that they're Lacheys. All right. Where is it? Who is she? She is Moonshadow's lover. To find out what has happened to him, she says she has dreamt he was killed by an evil Eladrin sorcerer allied to spider creatures. We have a third Eladrin here, allied to spider creatures, followers of Lolt. Lolt is another elven deity. Usually known like the Drows in the Underdark, based from 5e lore. Drows in the Underdark worship Lolt, so let's see if it's connected to that. And if he's truly dead, she would like to recover an amulet Moonshadow always carried, made from her own hair. Okay, a little weird, but okay. Probably not so weird during their time or in this setting. Okay. Hello DM, this is BJG. All right. Oh, from the G3. Yes, so BJ, welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the follow. All right. Glad to have your support. Yeah. You're free to stay, but if you get bored, I understand if you have to leave. That's fine. But if you're about to go to sleep, you can use this as ASMR if you want. Just a suggestion. You know, it's like me telling you a bedtime story. And anyway, going back here, Lashana is in fact an evil fey creature. A lot has happened. All right. Out of curiosity, an Eladrin, the purest lineage of elves, or Eladrins are like the Feywild elves. So it was from crap, I forgot his name. The god of the elves. His name is so common too. D&D FGOT. Let's Google it. Corellian. So with Corellian, that's it? Yeah. I'm talking about the right god, right? All right. Not Latander. Corellian, yeah. Yeah, and then something happened. I don't want to say it because I'm not confident that the lore that I know is correct. But something happened, and then there were like elves were created, and it kind of like on different branches, right? So you have the high elves, wood elves, drow here in the Forgotten Realms setting, or like in the material plane. And you can see there are differences based on the environment that they resided in. And then you have the astral elves, the new, like we have found this lore, or again, available again because of Spelljammer. So they're the ones that kind of live in the astral sea. And they don't technically die and age unless they leave the astral sea and go to like a wild space system and live there. And they're the ones that say that they're the closest to the gods because they're in space, right? And then you have the Eladrins, who are basically the ones, like they started to live in the Feywild. So for them, they're like the closest to what elves should be. And then there are probably more, but that's what I know. So yeah. It's different lore in 4e versus 5e. So yeah, and then see that's also the problem. So even in canon, they're published by Wizards of the Coast. Sometimes they change the lore too, so that is a problem as well. But that's also part of the fun, right? Because we wanna, like, for people like me, we wanna track like the changes that has happened. So which one is much more which one is accurate now, right? And it's a feeling that you can, to your fellow D&D nerds, that's something that you can brag about because you know what the accurate, like the latest info is. They haven't read it, but you did. You did the research. We did the stream. We know what's accurate and what's not. So sometimes it's fun. So it's the problems that Wizards of the Coast and that they create in terms of changing lore. It has like a positive side effect. Do we want Wizard of the Coast to keep changing lore? No. But anyway, we try to look for, like, we think of it as like glass is always half full, right? For now. For now. Anyway, I just read something interesting. We're going back here. We're going to finish adventure background. I promise. Lashana is not actually an elf, but a Lamia. A Lamia is a Lamia. Is that the okay? Half snake? Yes. I'm not thinking of all right. I'm not. There's an anime with a half snake, half human thing. That's what came to my mind when I saw the word Lamia. That's why I had to Google and make sure that it's the same thing. It's the same monster. I'm sorry. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Lamia is not like a naga. Okay. Let's Lamia D&D. I wish I can show you what I'm searching, but again, oh yeah, it's different. The Lamia in D&D is like a four-legged creature. And they are humanoid upper body merges with a four-legged like lion form. Oh wow, okay. See? That's the problem. We watch too much anime. We forgot about the Greek mythology. We forgot about Monster Manual. And we think a Lamia is something else. Yes, yeah. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Japanese messed it up. There's a lot. Oh, yeah. And I think, like, in other anime as well, they have the kobold as like a something else instead of like draconic in origin. Yeah. Orc, big thing. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, that's why we do this. That's why we read these things, right? It's interesting. So again, kobolds used to be more dog-like if you played 8. Really? Oh, I think that's why. If you look at the 5e cover art, art for kobold, yeah, for kobolds, they have they're draconic in origin. They look like mini dragons, but their nose kind of looks like a dog's nose. Yeah. And then I saw an anime where there are kobolds, but they're like dogs. They look more dog-like than dragon. And my friends were like complaining, that's not a kobold. That's not true. But probably the one who made that anime was influenced by AD&D instead of, the most recent edition. World of Warcraft kobolds are actually closer to classic kobold. Okay, yeah. Anyway, thank you for that. That was enlightening. So that's why we should have D&D Beyond open. when we do read these adventures. Anyway, going back here. So Lashana is not an Eladrin. She's actually a Lamia. So a half humanoid, half lion creature. Or maybe she's an Eladrin before and then transformed to a Lamia. We'll know. And she ruled a realm in the Feywild known as Spiderwood. Okay. So she owns like she has her own domain in the Feywild. Places Spiderwood. Feywild domain ruled by Lashana. Actually, Alamia. Ruler of Spiderwood. Okay. Things are starting to get complicated, and we're just in the background part of the adventure. So centuries... Oh, here we go. We're going to learn about what has happened. Centuries ago, Lashana seduced Moonshadow, and the two were lovers for a time. So that fact is true. Or that is a fact. However, once Moonshadow discovered who his lover really was, he withdrew and tried to atone for the wicked things he had done in the name of love. Oh boy, what have you done, Moonshadow? Moonshadow tricked her into magical captivity, thus rescuing the Fey inhabitants of the Spiderwood from her tyrannical rule. Her former servants were grateful to be released from her domination, and they still count Moonshadow as their friend. Lashana is imprisoned in Moonshadow Mansion through a number of magical bindings. A few days ago, one piece of the binding magic, a statue of Lashana wrapped in chains, was accidentally destroyed by a Fomorian army. So this is like the Fomorian is like a cursed giant, like cursed by the Fae giant creature. And moving through the Spiderwood. Because of the magical bindings on her were loosened, allowing her to now move about in the mansion, Lashana believes Moonshadow is dead. Okay. That's a lot. Let's try to absorb that. Moonshadow Mansion. Okay. It sounds familiar to Parnas Under Siege. Well, yeah, let's... so a lot has happened here. And so Moonshadow just wants to find her ex-lover, Moonshadow. She believes he's dead, but just in case, she wants the amulet. Probably the amulet of Moonshadow can be used to finally free her from the binding that Moonshadow did. All right. So let's see how is Lashana gonna interact with the adventurers if she's still in the mansion. Are we gonna summon there because she's in the Feywild, right? She's trapped in the Feywild in a mansion. How are we gonna interact with her? Poor Randall. What's this? There's a Randall person. An Eladrin spellcaster. Randall, an Eladrin spellcaster, has been sent by his liege, the Eladrin Hadarai. Elior Riandir. Yes. I know Chaos Hammer kind of sent me like the pronunciation for that. Which is familiar because, yes, that person was in 1-2, the Sea Drake. Hadarai is actually the friend of Daffod's father, the chieftain of... Let's try to go back. The chieftain of Walsbury in the Isle of Alaron, Brendan McClear. Yes, there we go. There we go. So we have that. See, we have notes. And then Brendan's son, Daffyd McLear visited the Isle of Gwynedd to talk to Hadarai because Hadarai wants to do trade. Oh, so this means, yeah, I remember now. So yeah, the Fae has taken over the Isle of Gwynedd because I remember now because non-Fae creatures are not allowed in the Isle of Gwynedd as of these adventures. Yeah. So they're kind of isolated for now. Okay, I remember. So Seraphil, Kingdom of Seraphil is already in the Isle of Gwynedd in 4th edition. Okay, good to know. Going back, we have another Eladrin. Oh, these Eladrins are starting popping up one after the other. Eladrin, spellcaster, serves Hadarai. I'm gonna copy that because that's hard to type. Okay. And possibly in MOON1-5 Lost Refuge, which we did not play. To locate a moon portal. The Spiderwood portal opens up to a location in the vicinity of Moonshadow Mansion. Okay. Hadarai is trying to save the people of the small town of Baladar Yaira in the Cloakwoods near Baldur's Gate. So we're not gonna take note of that because that's outside the Moonshae Isles. He plans to use a moon portal as a means to escape from the Fomorian army. Alright. Wait, I think we need to write it. Hadarai is trying to save the people of the small town of Baladar Yaira. Because is the moon portal there? If the moon portal is there, Sean is currently trapped. Okay, so I think we need to write this. So Baladar Yaira, located in Baldur's Gate, near Baldur's Gate. Moon portal to Spiderwood. Alright. Where the moon portal is located, we'll check. Okay. He plans to use, alright, knowing that Moonshadow Mansion has such a portal nearby, Randall entered the mansion he thought was abandoned and fell under Lashana's domination. She thinks he is too weak to complete her quest, and so she sent him to recruit some adventurers on her behalf. That's how they fixed it. Alright, and it correlates about, yeah. So she can't get out of the mansion, but another Eladrin went in, got controlled by Lashana, and now she's using Randall to give us the adventure. Okay. Baldur's Gate 3 is coming soon. I am excited. I saw the trailer as well. I'm excited to play it. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't played any of the Baldur's Gate games. But when I saw the trailer, I saw Minx come out from that mimic. Yeah, I like it. So I'm excited to play it. Now I'm gonna be one of the cool kids who can play Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, when it comes out. I hope it's good. Continue. This information, quest information. The adventure can either start or continue the Fae Gates of the Sea of Sword major quests throughout a number of sections called quest information. Those sections contain information that is directly relevant to the major quests. Whether the characters or player characters have started the quest already or not, this adventure runs the same way. The town of Beladar Yaira, an isolated Eladrin city in the Feywild? I am so confused now. I'm so confused. I know English is my second language, but help me understand. Help me understand here. Let's go back. Because here they're saying the town of Beladar Yaira is an isolated Eladrin city in the Feywild. But here, where's that? Where is that? I saw that. Here. Hadarai is trying to save the people of the small town of Beladar Yaira. It's the same, right? In the Cloakwoods near Baldur's Gate. Finish reading the sentence. Okay, I will. Alright, I will. Alright, I will finish reading the sentence. The town of Beladar Yaira, an isolated Eladrin city in the Feywild, had its moon portal conquered by an army of Fomorians. And they're using the portal to raid targets on Faerun. In and since the events of MOON1-5, the besieged Eladrin are closer to succumbing to the Fomorians and their army with each passing day. To this end, Hadarai is taking steps to save them by finding portals in and to the Feywild for safe places on Faerun. Central to the quest is the Lamia princess Lashana. She's a princess. She's not just a Lamia. She's alright. Okay. Lamias reproduce by duplicating themselves. Any copies of Lashana found during the quest were spawned before her current imprisonment. Throughout these adventures, Lashana and Karyana, which we do not know, share an empathic bond. So, I think so. I think it's the same. They're using the same mechanics or lore with the Kingdom of Seraphil. So with the Kingdom of Seraphil, as I mentioned, the ruler of that is High Lady Ordulf. During this time, it's High Lady Ordulf. And she had... There's like a prophecy that she will die. And she will die in the material plane. So... what she did is she kind of blinked out the Kingdom of Seraphil from the material plane and put it back in the Feywild. And they might have used a moon portal. I don't know. Is that the term? Is that the correct term for it? But then she kind of braved it out and like, you know what? It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. There's some things that need saving in the material plane, or things that she has to do in the material plane. So she placed the Kingdom of Seraphil back in Gwyneth, and then told everybody else that's living there, get out of this island. Faye owns this island now, again, and that has what happened since. So this place, Beladar Yaira, might be the same. So it's blinking in and out from the Feywild to the woods located in Baldur's Gate, or near Baldur's Gate. That's my theory. The answers might be in the Baldur's Gate adventures, which we're not gonna read. So, or if it continues to irritate me in the head, if it like keeps scratching my head for it, we might read it. Who knows? But for now, it's a no. Okay. Karyana. All right, so we have some information about Karyana. Karyana, the witch. Okay. The quote-unquote witch. So, quote-unquote witch. A witch. daughter copy of Lashana. Man, this is the most like confusing. It's starting to get confusing, but most like complicated adventure so far from what from the Living Forgotten Realms adventures we've read so far. A copy. So many things that are happening. Okay. She appears prominently in other parts of the quest. She's allied with the Fomorians, leading part of their army. Alright. Lord Hadarai. If they played 1 and 2, they may wish to know more about Lord... Yes, we want to know more about Lord Hadarai. A DC history check reveals that he's a minor noble of Gwyneth. We have them in 1-2. Should say Lord Hadarai. Eladrin. Alright. Minor noble, okay. And of Gwyneth. Lord Hadarai is one of the few Eladrin who wishes to form a closer bond with the other islands in the Moonshae. Got it. DM's introduction. During the first part of the adventure, keep up with the charade of Lashana being a lovesick old woman. Aww. If the characters become suspicious of her, Randall should step in to vouch for her good heart and deeds. While she's bound to the Moon Shadow Mansion, Lashana reforms in the tower room the following night if killed. Alright, so she doesn't die. The Moon Maiden, mentioned in the player's introduction below, is Saloon. Okay, the goddess of the moon. Okay. The halfling bard named Bree Sweetberry. We have another bard! But I don't trust bards anymore. I suddenly flashback what happened to Moon1-5. There's a spy. We have the fisherman, who was like the villain, the main villain in this story, has a spy, and we think it's like the innkeeper in Walsbury, who keeps distracting us with like good performances from bards and other performers. So yeah. Okay. But yeah, bards are cool. Anyway, where are we? Keep that. Bree Sweetberry hails from distant Aglarond. Okay, we have to Google that. Where is that? Aglarond D&D. Aglarond. All right. Aglarond is in southwestmost part of the unapproachable east. Are you saying this is in... Okay, somewhere far, far away. I'm trying to find it. All right. Is it in Karatur? I'm trying to figure it out. This doesn't look... Sea of Fallen Stars. I think it's still in Faerun. King of Aglarond. We need a Forgotten Realms map. Alright. Assignment for DMPaulG. Upload for the stream a Forgotten Realms map, because we might need that. Okay. But it's located in the southwestmost part of the unapproachable east, with its capital at Veltalar. Okay. Most of the land is covered by Yurewood. Okay. Filled with magic and mystery. Got it. She's from faraway land. And she hopes to catch a ship and travel to Moray. No! Why are you going to Moray? Do not go to Moray, where she heard there are many lycanthropes. Yes, you know there are many lycanthropes. Why do you want to go there? She does not have a cure, but has faith in her goddess to guide and help her find a way. Do not be a hero. Oh man. Yeah, Moonsea is in the no. The Sea of Swords is in the where the West Coast Sword Coast is at. So Sword Coast, the sea, the west of it is the Sea of Swords. The Moonsea, that's the Moonsea, and then there's the Moonsea namesake region, right? And then the Moonsea is kind of connected to the Sea of Stars. Yeah. No, I mean it's our way to the moose. All right. Okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. I like that our chat is active today. We're here to, learn more. Are we gonna get distracted a lot? I think so. Yeah. Uh, Anyway, the small village of Walsbury rests between the mountains, the Sea of Moonshae, verdant fields, and the diurnal forest. It is a common place for adventurers to congregate. Yes, the local population is mostly folk, but the Northlanders are also present. For a moment, the rain has ceased to fall on the village, leaving the streets a muddy mess with fast flowing shallow streams eager to return to the sea. The bitter cold brings everyone inside. The most inviting place in Walsbury is the once dry Toad Inn, where a warm fire, hot, hearty stew, and strong drink await you. As you enter, a short halfling maiden wearing a symbol of the Moon Maiden is singing about the tragic fall of a great warrior to the curse of the werewolf and his subsequent redemption, through the loving and healing arms of the Moon Maiden. I don't know. Like lycanthropes in common like movie tropes, they become werewolf when they see the moon. Saloon is the goddess of the moon. I don't know what's her name, Bree Sweetberry. If your plan is good or not, because I have a bad feeling about it. But anyway, she's a halfling bard that worships the Moon Maiden. I don't think it's gonna end good for Bree. That's a dead flag right there. So I hope nothing bad happens there. Yeah. Encounter 1, Randall. Okay, so for those that just joined us here, join my stream, first time of you being here, first time learning about the Moonshae lore. Let's try to see. So we're right now in the village of Walsbury, which is in the island of, or the Isle of Alaron. So this is Alaron right now. This is where we're at. And Walsbury is right... Where's my cursor? It's disappeared. I can't see it. There you go. Walsbury is right there. Okay. Right there. And then the place where the High King resides, Caer Caladir, is right there. So, but right now we're in the village of Walsbury. So encounter 1. And then you can see also how these adventures are structured. In 4th edition, the LFR adventures, apparently there's they're structured in a way that you do encounter 1, encounter 2, encounter 3, and then if there's gonna be like a fork in the adventure, like split the path, then encounter 1 goes to encounter 4, or encounter 1 goes to continues on with 2, 3, and something. That's basically the format of this. But how we're gonna read it, we're just gonna go numerical order 1 to whatever, usually 7 or 8. And there's also a setup portion in the adventures, which is great for us because we can try to copy the NPCs if they're new, right? So like Brendan McClear is the village chieftain of Walsbury, former adventurer. I think that's new. Did we know that he was a former adventurer? We know that he's a folk, but we don't know that he was a former adventurer, or we just kind of ignored it, right? Probably. But yeah. So we have that former adventurer. And then we have Randall. We already talked about Randall. And then Seamus Duffy. This is the guy. The one that I keep calling Seamus, which is incorrect. Seamus Duffy is the owner of the once Dry Toad Inn, the inn proprietor, and might be a spy. So take note of let's take note of what happens here. Where Seamus is kind of involved. And then you have Lady Lashana, an Eldrin lady. Okay, we have that. The encounter has 3 parts. In the first part, the characters meet Randall, who asks them to meet with Lady Lashana. The second part is optional, allows the characters to gather information while in Walsbury. And the third part deals with the characters meeting Lashana. Okay, let's go with that. So part 1, Randall. Lashana has sent Randall to gather adventurers to help her. In this encounter, the characters meet Randall, who invites them back to Moonshadow Mansion. Randall approaches the characters directly if one of them qualifies for one of the following. Yeah, it's just Randall that's here. So, characters with the story award. Okay. So, if they got it, Randall would approach them. If they are Fae in origin, or like their race is Fae, like Eladrin, Nandrow, elves, gnomes, half elves, okay. Otherwise, Brendan McClear approaches the characters with Randall if they qualify for one of the following. Okay. We got that. And anybody who doesn't have the Ire of the McClear Story Award, basically. Got it. And then finally, if all else fails, so this is basically just giving us like the multiple hooks for the adventure. And we don't meet any of these criteria here. Seamus, the innkeeper, approaches us, and in return for a gold coin, tells them that they can find Randall in one of the back rooms. Randall is formal and has an air of arrogance about him. He considers non-Eladrin as lowly swords for hire. Okay. And we talk about that. Why Eladrins, at least the ones that we're reading here right now, act that way. Because again, they've been alive for a very long time, you know. And he addresses Fae characters first as if they're the leaders of the party. Despite this, Randall is not a heavily prejudiced man and is willing to work with anyone. If there are no fake characters, he bluntly starts by asking who their leader is. All right. And we read this loud to the characters, to the players. The Eladrin is dressed elegantly in loose-fitting robes through which the sound of light armor can be heard. Oh. My name is Randall, a loyal servant to the Fae Queen of Gwynedd. Okay. All right. Give me a second. I know there's a reason why I'm pausing. My name is Randall, a loyal servant to the Fae Queen of Gwynedd, and a vassal to Lord Hadarai Elior Riandir. I come here at the request of a dying lady, Lady Lashana. She wishes to meet with you at Moonshadow Mansion with a request for help. So Randall works with High Lady Ordulf, which is the ruler of the Fae in the Isle of Gwynedd. and he got captured by Lady Lashana. When he was in the Feywild, he entered the mansion, got captured, and now he's basically doing her bidding. Okay. Randall has no idea how much Lady Lashana can offer the party for their assistance, but if any of the characters currently have the Fey Gates of the Sea of Swords quest, Randall adds the following. The task Lady Lashana needs you to perform also helps my Lord Hadorai. I cannot say more, but let me impress upon you the importance. Helping her also helps my lord and the people of the Cloakwood, which is near Baldur's Gate. Okay. So that's it. And then next part is who's that? This one. We can get more information about Randall and what he knows probably. So there are modifiers depending on your class, depending on your race, class, and background, I would say, or backstory. So history. Moonshadow is an old Eladrin warlock. Did we say that he is a warlock? No. I wonder which entity Moonshadow made a deal with to become a warlock. Okay. Warlock adventure. Oh, I'm typing it in the wrong area. Where am I? What am I doing? Eladrin Warlock Adventure. There we go. Moonshadow. Sorry. His adventuring days ended 300 years ago, where he retired to a nearby mansion. Moonshadow was an expert on the Feywild. It is said that Moonshadow had a love affair with a Fey princess. Excuse me. Moonshadow is said to have written a codex of all the portals and gates linked to the island of Alaron. Okay. That one is important. That one is important. That one is usable. Yes. So if we write future adventures in the Moonshae, we can reference to this, you know. Having a codex that has to do with portals. Where is that? I lost it. Where's the codex? Here. Y type, right? If I can just copy paste. I just figured that out. Okay. Got it. So Moonshadow is said to have written a codex of all the portals and gates linked to the island of Alaron. Now, as I just mentioned, in Alaron, that's where Caer Caladir is located. That's where the High King and his family resides. So imagine if like an enemy of the High King gets a hold of this codex. And instead of traveling with ships, you know, to get and then try to invade or attack Alaron, you can just use the portals. Very important item. Got it. Okay. Anyway, Moonshadow's mission into the Feywild often prevented evil Fey creatures from ravaging into the natural world. But he has also done favors for less aggressive local Fey communities. Okay? In his youth, Moonshadow helped to overcome many evil Fey and gain the eternal gratitude of the local Fey. Go around the streets of Walsbury, we'll learn the following. Where's that? Moonshadow, here we go. Moonshadow was an Eladrin warlock whose adventuring days ended centuries ago. No one has seen Moonshadow in over a century. He must be dead by now. Wow, for like a village that is full of humans, sure knew a lot about Moonshadow. Moonshadow Mansion lies south of Walsbury, where the woods are thick, old, and dark. What? Okay. Seems like a typo. You don't get to ravage into something. You range into something. All right. Range into the outside world. Okay. I didn't even think of that. But yeah, that sounds, yeah, that makes more sense. But this one is making me confused now. Because they're saying that Moonshadow Mansion lies south of Walsbury, where the woods are thick, old and dark. So Moonshadow Mansion is now in the Isle of Alaron. Is this a traveling? Maybe there is a portal in the woods near Walsbury that gets you to the mansion. And it's probably the same in the Cloakwood Forest near Baldur's Gate. I think that's what the writer is trying to tell us. That makes more sense to me. Okay. So Moonshadow Mansion is in the Feywild, but there are portals that lead to the woods near Walsbury in Alaron, and there's another one in the woods or forest near Baldur's Gate. That makes sense. So, what did we type about an Eladrin city? And then the mansion is in Beladar Yaira, or close to Beladar Yaira. Right? But anyway, it's in the same domain because it's in Spiderwood. Okay. Feywild domain, I mean. Man. Yeah. All right, we need to be vigilant about this because it's easy to get confused. I'm still not like 100%. I'm still trying to line it up, in my head. But yeah, we need to be like watching closely about every detail about location of these Moonshadow Mansion. Okay. It is believed that Moonshadow had a love affair with a Fey princess. Moonshadow Mansion has been abandoned for many years. Moonshadow used to send expeditions into the Feywild, usually on noble quests. Some adventurers came back pretty wealthy or with fabulous magic items. I want some fabulous magic items. While others never been seen again. We don't want that. And then if you're really, really good and you get a DC 30 on your checks, Moonshadow's missions into the Feywild have usually been to defeat dangerous Fey. But a few have also been to perform some service for the local Fey community. Alright, Lady Lashana? No one in Walsbury knows anything about Lady Lashana. If asked, most people guess that she must be his wife or daughter, but no one knows for sure. Okay. So Randall talked to us. We go around town talking to people to get information. Now Randall is taking us to the Moonshadow Mansion to meet Lady Lashana. This is what's happening now. So the character set out to Moonshadow Mansion. Read the following. Okay. The walled estate of Moonshadow Mansion is a few hours' ride south of Walsbury in the Durnal Forest. The outside of the mansion shows signs of neglect. The inside of the mansion is well kept and clean, despite a bit of spiderweb and dust. Randall brings the characters to a well-decorated room. Incredible silk tapestries depicting vivid forest scenes decorate the room. And if you do perception check, you while studying the tapestries, you notice that each tapestry has many tiny spiders lurking somewhere in the weave. Holy crap! That is cool. All right, you know, I'm just gonna put it there because it's a cool thing to have. In Spiderwood Fey Domain, there are, or actually in Moonshadow Mansion, there are tapestries. Tapestries, where is that? That says there are tapestries with many tiny spiders lurking somewhere in the weave. Nice. That's something that a spy will definitely use. So if you can communicate to spiders, right? And then you have that tapestry, it looks like just a general decor or a decoration in your room. And then you suddenly realize that there's actually like tiny spiders there. That's beautiful and scary at the same time. And nature check reveals that the tapestries are made from spider silk and that the scenes depict the Feywild in all of its beauty. Okay, that's nice. Make a secret note of which the characters decide to study. Got it. Got it. Just for skill challenges. Lady Lashana enters the room dressed in a flowing silk gown, looking like a true Eladrin queen. So when Randall said that she works for the Fey Queen of Gwynedd, she may not be talking about Lady Ordulf. She might be talking about Lashana. We don't know. We'll know later. I need to read more. The Eladrin woman is extremely old. Her hair floats like strands of silver, and her face has lost just a little of that youthful appearance common to Eladrin. Her skin has a glowing quality that gives her an air of serenity. Her eyes are deep pools of violet streaked with veins of white that sparkle with a vitality her body no longer shares. Welcome to Moonshadow Mansion. I am Lady Lashana. I am pleased to meet you all. Man, what a character. I'm imagining Sephiroth's hair. I'm imagining an old lady, but like full of wrinkles on her face. But I don't think she's like that since she's an Eladrin. So probably one or two wrinkles on her face. And then that gorgeous violet, like sparkling eyes. Nice. I like that. Okay. Play Lady Lashana as a wise and kind grandma type. She only speaks of Moonshadow as a lost lover. Got it. So she first asks the characters to introduce themselves and speaks of their previous adventure. She is Moonshadow's old lover. 60 years ago, Moonshadow left on an expedition and has not returned. He often spoke of visiting a place called the Spiderwood that she knows is in the Feywild. Alright, wait a second. The Moonshae Mansion is not in Spiderwood. So the Moonshae Mansion The Moonshae Mansion is in the Feywild that has a portal in Alaron. It's starting to get confusing. Okay. Okay. We'll get through this. Although 60 years is not very long, she had a terrible dream wherein Moonshadow was set upon and killed by an evil face sorcerer and a million spider creatures. Thank you, Doctor, for the follow. Hello, hello. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream, rather. Yes, let's learn some Moonshae lore together as we read MOON1-5 Lost Love from which is a Living Forgotten Realms 4th edition D&D adventure module. Okay. Okay. What else do we have here? She wants to find out what happened to Moonshadow, and if they find him, just needed noise while I work on a shitty D&D character. This is the perfect place. Yes. We're kind of trying to figure out a lot of stuff, so hopefully this will confuse you more and create a shittier D&D character if that's what you're intending to do. Okay, we're here to help. If they find him but has died or cannot return, she asks the characters to bring back a locket made of her hair he kept with him. This would act as proof that they have really located him. She gives the characters a locket that allows them to find Moonshadow while in the Feywild. The locket only works when the target is on the same plane. It does not work right now. So right now, the Moonshadow Mansion is actually in the material plane. It's in Alaron. Alright. Got it. She promises to reward the characters, including a chest filled with Moonshadow's old adventuring gear. She does not know the contents, but assures them it is very heavy. Okay. It is possible that the characters attempt to use the Arcana skill to detect magic, which she radiates magic, but pleads the vanity of an old woman if asked about it. Okay. She just wants to look pretty, and that's why she has a lot of magic on her. Kind of like enchantments and stuff. All right. Insight checks reveal that Lady Lishana, that she seems to harbor some resentment toward Moonshadow, although she's able to mask her outright hatred towards him because of her imprisonment. Got it. So we should allow the characters to be suspicious of her, but not provide her true identity. Okay. And then ending the encounter, they agreed to help Lashana. And that's encounter 1. That's a long encounter. Okay. Yeah. We got that. So encounter 2. All right. While the doctor is creating their character to find a portal. So now we're gonna find a way towards Spiderwood. Locate the portal leading to Spiderwood. So these are skill checks that needs to be done. If you're not successful on those skill checks, you still find the portal, but they lose a healing surge and -2 penalty on their initiative during the next encounter. Got it. And the skill check and challenge is in 3 phases. All right, we don't really want to learn about that. Next is a social phase where the characters find and convince Athos to tell them about his grandfather's expedition. Athos sounds familiar. It feels like I don't have it in my notes, but it feels like there, it's here. Athos Kallio. Rod of Athos Dota. No. Athos Kallio, the bard. Why is it here? He's the bard from the first adventure. The bard that rode the unicorn to Guineria. Yes, the one that has, yeah. The one that just had a super bad luck. All right. Oh no, he's back. And tell them about his grandfather's expedition. In the last phase, they searched through the woods to find the portal itself. Okay. The Lapis are working for her. Lady Lashana invites them to stay in the mansion. There's plenty of supply of food, drink, and several bedrooms. Okay. Read aloud text. My dearest Moon Shadow left many notes about the Feywild portals, but they appear to be in some kind of arcane code I cannot decipher. He clearly didn't want anyone finding it unless he had chosen them himself. Lady Lashana takes you to a dusty library. She indicates the notes scattered about on the tables and chairs. They are a mass of strange symbols and diagrams similar to those used in archaic ritual books. So we have our codex. It's here. The codex is in the mansion, as we've taken note of. An old lover who won't share info with her. Basically, Moon Shadow left his cell phone here, and he didn't give the passcode to Lashana. So that's basically it. If the characters decide to wander the forest trying to find a portal without any information, they fail to find it. Moon Shadow's locket. At some point, the characters head to the Feywild. Lashana offers a female character or a male character with high charisma a locket to find Moon Shadow. This locket is a lodestone of the plains. We have a magic item. I wonder what this magic item does. I hope there's a description somewhere in this adventure. I doubt it, but I hope they have it here. Lashana's lockets. As the characters are working on the skill challenge, hand up to 4 characters a copy of handout 2. In the handout, Lashana approaches the outsiders or the brawnier warriors. As an alternative, you may choose to run this mini encounter separate with the characters. Separate with the character alone. Got it. Suspicious characters may not want to give her a strand of their hair, and she won't risk pushing them for it. The real reason she wants it is revealed in the final encounter. The amulet really worked, and while in the Feywild, the characters instinctively feel the location of the Fey portal. Make a note on which characters they give up some hair and which ones don't. Got it. I wonder if you could fool her with a strand of someone else's hair, like a familiar's. Well, she's a very old and powerful Eladrin. She owns a domain. She owns the Spiderwood domain. So, Feywild domain. So I don't think it's easy to trick her. Of course, you can try, as your DM will say to you, but you need you need a really high result from your skill checks. If you're bald. Alright, so quest information, Randall. I have not told you everything about myself. Although I currently serve here at Moonshadow Mansion, my true allegiance does not lie with Lady Lashana. I am a vassal to Lord Hadarai Elior Riandir, a remarkable leader from our thrice blessed isle. Lord Hadarai asked me to find Feywild portals between that place and ours. If you should happen to find any information about any such portals, I offer you the small sum of 50 pieces of gold minted in Gwyneth. The Lord's goal is to save a number of our fellow moon elves under attack by dark forces. Okay. Trying to absorb this. 1. Randall mentioned that Gwyneth is a thrice blessed isle. Didn't see lodestone of the Pleiades in 4E Player's Handbook. Oh no. So this might be from a new source book. I mean, in 4th edition. How was Gwyneth blessed 3 times? What were those blessings? Right? Gwyneth is referred to as a... Oops, not that. As... Oh, what did I do? Gwyneth is referred to as the thrice blessed isle. What are those blessings? What were those blessings? All right. This was in 4th edition, so yeah. Lord Hadrai asked me to find Feywild portals. Yeah, so find portals. Randall promises the characters 50 gold. Okay, if they help. Got it. And both gain the gratitude of the Eldrin of Baladar, Yaira, and his Lord Hadrai, which he insists is greater than mere coins. So Randall is dominated by Lashana, but he can still give this information to the characters. It's hard to believe, like, the information is kind of conflicting, and you can still make sense of it, but as a dungeon master, you have to make there's an extra effort that needs to be made to make sure that the story makes sense, if you know what I'm trying to say. Like, the way the adventure is written, if you're the dungeon master, instead of just reading and then following what's written on this module, there's an extra task of understanding everything that's going on, because some parts of it do not make sense. And then you have to make sure that it makes sense once you run this to your players. So that one is kind of giving me a problem. Anyway. Situations not covered in the skill challenge. Can attempt things to cover here. We're not going to read through that. Or actually, we need to, because the characters can attempt things not covered here, most likely through the use of rituals of power or power. Whatever they use, they cannot gain more than 1 success. For example, the character using a ritual to decipher the codes could not gain more than 1 success. Got it. So they're still in the mansion, from what I'm seeing. Because if they're trying to decode the codex, and Lady Lashana was still talking to them, so they're still in the mansion. They're trying to find a portal using the resources inside the mansion. That's my understanding. Okay. The Fey Passage Ritual. It is possible that the character may have this ritual. If so, Randall points out there are a number of Fey crossings nearby. Finding the right one is almost impossible. If the characters persist in using the ritual, the portal they open leads to the wrong area of the Spiderwood, and they automatically fail the skill challenge. Okay. If they have portal magic. Yeah, a lot of explanation. Um, the map. Many of the handouts refer to the map or a series of maps. None of the maps can be found in the mansion, as Moonshae took them on his last expedition. Doing nothing. If they decide to do nothing, they gain 1 failure per inactivity. Okay, per day of inactivity. Research. Okay, the successes, failures. What are they trying to research? Can work together to make each check. Um, and can assume that Randall is assisting them. Got it. This is what we want, I think. The characters find a number. The characters find a number of loose sheets, notes, and scribblings done by Moonshae in books, scrolls, and notebooks, which he planned to gather into a great book of lore one day. However, when the characters enter the house, these are little more than random notes. During this phase of the investigation, the characters may wish to use insight, alright, and then obtain Moonshae was extremely disorganized. Use that skill at the time that grants another success or failure. Arcana check. Okay, nothing really. Arcana 1 section of the handouts. Okay, Arcana 2 section of the handout. History 1 section of the handout. I think we need to look at the handout. After receiving these, characters that have earned the favor of Atos Kallio immediately recognize the name Kallio. Alright, that's his grandfather. Nature 1 section of handout 1. Religion checks. Religion 1 section of handout 1. Okay, got it. So we need to read handout 1. Oh, the handouts are not like after the encounter anymore. It changed because now it says encounter 3. So the handouts are not here. Okay. Oh, it's here. Handout. The maps monsters are still here, but okay, here we go. Here are the notes. It's at the end of the adventure. Arcana 1. This loose sheet of paper was inserted into a great book filled with drawings of Fae and other monsters. The spiderwood portal moves between many of locations. Yes, starting to make sense. Around the mansion. Okay, that one's different. Not what I was expecting. The spiderwood portal moves between many of locations around the mansion. Not in like the material plane inside the mansion. Some are easy to find and others are well hidden or so small that a cricket could not pass through them. That's some grammar. I'm not going to complain about it because as a writer, I'm pretty bad at it too. But yeah, I get what you're saying. If this is a published adventure, there should be some editing done, especially if there's testers involved. There's like people who reviewed it. So yeah. Anyway. What's this about? Welcome, Korgel. Again, we're reviewing Moonshae Isle Adventures, but these are not from 5th edition. These adventures that we're reading right now are from 4th edition. They're from the Living Forgotten Realms series of adventure, which are Living Forgotten Realms is like the organized play. That's the Adventures League of 4th edition, basically. And we're trying to extract as much lore as we can to become, lore masters of the Moonshae Isles. So that's what we're doing. So we're reading adventures one after the other, extracting some lore, This is not like the typical, D&D stream where we play and learn more about the lore. Here, we grab all the textbooks, the source books and everything, and we read through it and learn together. So, it's not for everyone, but if you're interested, you are more than welcome to stay. If you're about to go to sleep, you can just put me somewhere in the background as I read you a story or an adventure. And get there. And maybe you learn a thing or two about the Moonshae Owls as well. It hurts your graphic artist soul. Oh no. Uh, but that fun. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm so happy that the format for Adventures League, although it is not yet the best, I know it's not the best. The format has improved through the years, so I'm happy with it. Anyway, going back, Arcana 1. If they're successful in Arcana check, they learn that the Spiderwood portal is here. There are many in the Moonshadow Mansion. Some are easy to find, others are well hidden, okay? And the document refers to a map that cannot be found. Got it. Most of which I have been able to identify. I believe the location has to do with the light and position of the moon. Got it. Arcana 2. Located on a page in a notebook filled with nonsensical writings and unsuccessful attempts creating rituals to open gates to the Feywild. Alright, this is another note from Moonshadow. I have spent days looking for the portals. They only open shortly after moonrise. My best estimation is that they remain open for about an hour. It seems that the portal does not open, or maybe it closes itself, as soon as the moon disappears completely behind the clouds. This leads me to believe that the portals are somehow linked to the Moon Maiden, but the link is tenuous at best. Okay. History 1. This journal entry is dated 70 years ago. It is on a loose sheet of paper buried in a pile of other unrelated notes. The adventurers I sent have returned today. They have drawn some great maps of the Spiderwood. I will examine them to see how the Feywild has been affected by what is going on. Hopefully my old maps are still valid, but who knows? I spoke with Wallace Collio, one of the local druids. Whoa, wow! One of the local druids about the possibility of going back there. But he refused. He said that his adventuring days were over. I was saddened by the loss of such a trustworthy fellow. Alright. This is kind of big. Name. Wallace Collio. I'm unshaven druid. Grandfather of Atos Collio. If you were here with me during last week when we talked about MOON1-5, which is a story of a very unfortunate bard, Atos, and shared the story that he rode the unicorn Guinera. From what I remember, I know that he's not from the Moonshaes, or well, it didn't really mention, but the story started with him traveling here to the Moonshaes, right? That's what I remember. So he traveled to the Moonshaes, and since he thought, and then he ended up in Walsbury. He thought the people would like the story of him riding a unicorn, and then bad stuff started to happen, and then they all blame it to Atos, and they put him to jail. And then the adventurers had to basically figure out that it's not Atos' fault. You know what? It's just coincidence because there's like goblin attacks. There's it caused the wolves to attack the farmers, and there's a illegal fishing happening because of the Omnian pirates that made a whale kind of like attack a boat, something like that, or crash into a boat. But here we learn that Ato's grandfather is a local druid. Now, the druids in the Moonshae Isles are kind of like your religious leaders, because the folk, again, double F, FFOLK, the folk, which is like the locals of the Moonshaes, human locals of the Moonshaes, they worship the Earth Mother. And the one that kind of guides them through this, or the one that gives them more wisdom, I would say, and protects the Earth Mother as well, together with the wells that are in the Moonshae, are the druids. And here we find out, so there's a lot of druids here in the Moonshaes, and we learn that one of the druids is Ato's grandfather. So that's cool. That's good. So Atos has his like roots here in the Moonshaes. That's good to know. Religion 1. Okay. Written on a long since used ritual scroll, the following appear under the header Days of the Fae Year. Alright, this one is long. The pure Fae, though few worship the gods, share a number of days they hold sacred with some of the gods. I'll read it again. The pure Fae, though few worship the gods, share a number of days they hold sacred with some of the gods. Okay. First off, any day held sacred for Corellian often matches up to a Fae holiday. I have reveled with them in song and dance on the same day, where we celebrate the victory of Corellian over Groomsh. Oh, yeah. Anyone here a fan of Groomsh? God of the Orcs. Any Groomsh lover here? I have a friend. Yes. Loves orcs. Yeah. Yeah, orcs sucks. I know, right? I have a friend, yeah. For some reason, he's really into orcs. I don't know why. Anyway, they explained to me the difference in their worship rites, but by then, the wine and mead proved too much for me. I woke up painted bright purple, but quite happy. On those holy days, Fae portals glow much brighter. So bright, in fact, that I thought a star had fallen from the heavens. I'm trying to understand what was said here. It's like I'm reading the codex, and I have to figure out. It's like I'm really. It's like I'm the adventurer. I'm not sure if this is an immersive experience or an annoying one, but it feels like I'm also trying to really figure out where the portals are at. They glow much. Oh, which one glows? The Fae portals glow much brighter, so bright that I thought a star had fallen from the heavens. Okay. So the portals appear when the moon is out. It closes when the moon is gone or like got covered by a cloud. And during holidays, elven holidays, the portals are stronger or they're brighter, so easier to spot, right? What follows is a list of dates written down. A number of them are within the next 10 days. So within the next 10 days, there's an elven holiday. If you can't find the portal, wait for the holiday. The portals will grow brighter and will be easier to find. Got it. Just giving you context of the thing. Yeah. I don't know if that's fun or not. I'm still confused. All right. Because I don't think that's intentional. I think it's just how it was written could be better. But now it feels like we're reading something that, now we're trying to piece things together to find this portal and to the Feywild through the information written here. Anyway, it's weird. Yeah, I agree. Scribbled in the cover of a book called Herbs and Spices of Alaron, which is an isle here in the Moonshaes. Also where the Moonshadow Mansion is at, which is where we are at right now. Fey portals usually open near strange natural formations. Human peasants call fairy rings. Fey portals usually open near strange natural formations. Human peasants call fairy rings. Wow. It calls peasants? Alright. Okay. Although many portals do have ring-shaped signs, large numbers of certain plants generally indicate a Fey presence. Got it. A number of plants have been crossed off with comments like useless, no link possible. However, the following plants are circled. Clover. All right, I like clover. 5-leaf clovers. That's good. Toadstool and white rhubarb. Is that how you say it? Okay, there. IRL fairy rings are neat fungus. Actually, nice, thanks. All right. Let me Google it. Oh, they're mushrooms and they form like a literal circle on like a ring on the ground. Oh, that's nice. Wow. It's kind of interesting. Do we have these in the Philippines? I don't know. I hope so. But it's the first time I've seen this. Oh. It's an outer edge of the... Okay. Got it. And then... Alright, so we need to go back now. Go back all the way to Encounter 2. Alright, I have a bad feeling about this. So... We're still in Encounter 2. With our current pace... I think we're only gonna read one adventure tonight. This one seems long. I'm excited about the Fisherman, which is like the villain in this series. We got a filler episode, and it looks like it's a long filler episode. So you can have fairy rings on your body. It's called the ringworm. Oh, ew. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. That's part 1 of the research. Okay, we're now in part 2, social. During part 2, the characters can accumulate up to 3 success. We don't need that. Skill checks, yes. First, they have to head to Walsbury. So we have to go back to Walsbury. Which is, where's my map? Right here. Right there. And then... in the Isle of Alaron, head to Walsbury to looking. First, they could head to Walsbury to look for rumors or stories about fairy rings, portals, attacks, and other Fae-related stories. Got it. I'm not sure about Fae-related stories. Again, Moonshae Isles is filled with Fae. There are tons of Fae creatures and Fae-related incidents in the Moonshae. Like, this is the hub for like Fae accidents and adventures and stories and everything. So if you ask like a general Fae-related stories, that might be... it might take you a long time to get what you're looking for. Second, they can find Atos Kallio. So Atos Kallio is still here. Huh? Alright. Now I'm getting annoyed. Now I'm kind of getting a bit annoyed. Alright. Atos Kallio, the druid from Moon1-1. Because now we know that this is... We know that this is not true. This is obviously a typo. But because of this typo, we don't know which other things are also like a typo. So now we can't trust the lore in this adventure. Because we don't know which one is correct. Alright. Just to make sure, let me open Moon1-1. Let me open Moon1-1. This is the first Moonshae Isle adventure in the Living Forgotten Realms campaign. And we're gonna go. Let me zoom it. And then we're gonna go to adventure background. We're gonna read it again. Okay, we're gonna read it again. The village of Walsbury has always had a patron, the unicorn Guinera. She frequents the outskirts and surrounding hillocks. It is considered a good omen to glimpse her as the first rays of dawn crest and hills, or as they fade for the day. None may boast more than to have caught a glance from afar. Even such nominal contact is considered a great omen of good fortune. She is a reassuring watcher over the village. Some months ago, a traveling bard came to town and was well received by the locals. He was put up in several homes. One night, he told a tale of how he met Guinera and rode her through the evening air. The populace was aghast at the boldness of this visitor. He received no further requests for tales, but was otherwise treated well. Then things started to go very poorly in the town, and his rash behavior was blamed. The villagers believe he has desecrated the sacred beasts, and that they are being punished by Shantea and other gods for his arrogance. He has been jailed, awaiting the arrival of the druid to pass judgment on him and restore the town to Shantea's good graces. Though the community would never be characterized as rich, they have always had more than enough to meet their communal needs. Now, food stores are shrinking, the populace is fearful, and if something's not done, many will die during the harsh winter. Fishing boats are all but ineffectual, and their nets come back empty, or they are lost at the ocean. We know it's because of the Omnian pirates. The populace fears the whales sent by Umberlee and are punishing them. The farmers have stopped tending to their fields, and weeds choke and kill the crops that should soon be harvested. They fear that Shantea punishes them, as several farmers have been viciously killed in their fields or dragged off, never to be seen again. These are caused by the wolves and the goblins. The villagers fear the goddess has sent them the wolves against them. Yeah. And the druid that's supposed to come got kidnapped by the goblins. Now, a full moon later, no druid has shown, and the villager fears Sylvanus has to abandon them. So the bard in this adventure background that I'm talking about is Atos Kallio. That's the bard. Didn't mention his name. But yeah, so he's definitely not a druid. Because at the end of this adventure, we know that the kidnapped druid is Svenskild. But he was kidnapped, thought was rescued as I heard human voices, but turns out just working with so there are people working with the goblins. And then the druid knows that Guineria just disappeared because she wants to mate. It's mating season, basically. At the end of the adventure, Chieftain Brendan McClear is grateful for your bringing truth to this situation to light. He immediately orders Athos, the bard, be freed. Okay. The evening he gathers all the people in the village. You are recognized for your achievements, and the myths of the village have been operating on are dispelled. In the Dry Toad Inn, Athos Kalios sings a song to your praise. The following day, the simple folks seem excited to be able to return to their labors. Life begins to return to normal in Walsbury. Athos the Bard, here's his info. He has been traveling the world, plying his trade. He arrived in Walsbury and work went well. He heard tales of unicorn and thought it would make fun, be a good tale to share. In truth, he never met the unicorn. He's grateful of the character's help. So no mention here that Athos is a druid. So this is a typo, but a very dangerous typo. Okay? Because now, I don't think most bards could even approach a unicorn. Good sir, you may be underestimating bards. Do not underestimate bards. You know, bards can do a lot. Okay? And they're very brave as well. That feeling when they didn't research the lore. Yeah, that's why we're here. But now, again, I'm kind of iffy of the notes that we're here. The notes that we're taking from this adventure. Because we don't know if it's a typo or, that's really it. Because we've been having a hard time figuring out where Spiderwood Fey Domain is located, where the Moonshadow Mansion is located. We're being thrown between Alaron and Baldur's Gate in terms of these locations. So now I'm not having fun. Now I'm a bit annoyed. Okay. Good night. Good night, Naisumisu. All right. Fey unicorns could be anything. Trust me, I tried. All right, let's take the positioning of portals with a grain of salt. The damn yeah, that's true. That makes sense too. So, yeah, locations in Feywild and the distance as well frequently changes and kind of messed up as well in the Feywild. So we can have, again, that's a way out in this confusing adventure. Anyway, that particular avenue is limited to the parties where at least one character has played Moon 2. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, so never mind. Moon 2. This is a story award, not the adventure. This is a story award. We got this adventure in the... we got the story award in Moon 1-1. So, okay. They're not talking about a different adventure. Anyway, so that's wrong. That's clearly wrong. Finally, the characters may speak with Bree, the halfling priestess of Saloon. Alright, so we're out of the mansion. We're back in Walsbury to talk to Bree. And yeah, I think we're back to Bree. Yeah. Okay, we're yeah. So yeah, we're going back to Walsbury. Yeah. Okay. Talk to people. One of them is the bard Bree. And with skill checks. Okay. What information can we get with all these skill checks and story awards? To gain the following information. These are the information we need. Alright, so this is what we're reading. Every full moon, a growing number of monsters appear in the diurnal forest near Walsbury. Although the NPC does not think of it, the characters mention Moonshae Mansion. A local NPC. Oh man, I'm so confused. Sorry. A local NPC can confirm that the monster appeared in that area. Alright, just need to read it again and again until I get it right. Okay. The NPC tells the NPC tells the characters that a druid once said all Fey portals are temporary and that they must always form in a gap or crevasse, for example. An oddly curved tree branch, a ring of mushroom, or a broken tree that now hangs forms a doorway or a passage of sorts that becomes the Fey portal. Okay. So that's where you're gonna go. So find fairy ring, broken tree, and or like a oddly curved tree branch, and the portal might be there. Okay. An old druid told them before any moon portal opens, a number of silver star-shaped flowers bloom for a day or so. If a flower is located, the NPC warns the characters to run since those nearby often disappear, never to be found again. Oh, that's a good like a children's story, like something you tell the kids, don't wander off to the woods. And if you see a star-shaped flower and it blooms, you're gonna be gone forever. So that's probably a portal to the Feywild as well. A silver star-shaped flower. I'm thinking of clover, but it's not silver. So maybe a silver 5-leaf clover. There. Got it. Is diurnal forest listed on the map? Let's look. It is on the map. So let me scroll a little bit. Yeah, you can see it there. That's the big forest that we have. So let me remove that. Yeah. So diurnal forest is right here. Is there a moonwell? Yeah, there's a moonwell. All right. And there's a river also that goes through the diurnal forest. And there's also... Oh, that's a tunnel. Okay. There's also a road that goes like to the edge of the forest. I should zoom. Why am I not zooming? There you go. There. There we go. Yeah, the dwarven... yeah, it goes under there. So there's a Fade Dark area under... No, not Fade Dark. But yeah, it's a portal to the Fade Dark. But yeah, there's a... Yeah, dwarven tunnel here. There's an Underdark in under diurnal forest. Has a line, yeah. So I have it there. Okay, so that's what we have. So it's a big forest. Are there 4th Ed Lord bits that's getting carried over to 5th Ed? That's what we're checking. Yes, there are a lot of 4th edition lore getting carried over. But we want to know what those are, basically. And one of the reasons why we're doing this is because as one of the storyline coordinators for the Moonshae Isles for Balman Games, I want to know exactly what happened, or I want to know the history of the Moonshae Isles. And some stuff, some lore bits here, I can probably use to write adventures with. you know, and like do a callback to like if you played this in 4th edition, you'll know that this happened, and so like 10 years or 15 years later, you play the new Moonshae Isle Adventures and you see, oh hey, I remember this back when I was high school. We played this 4th ed adventure and there was this and that. There was Lashana, and then now here in this new adventure, Lashana is here. Something like that. So, also, is D&D 1 a universe reset? No, it's not. They said what they mentioned. D&D 1 is gonna end all editions, basically. So there's not gonna be like 6th edition, 7th edition, something like that. It's just these are gonna be rules from now on. It's like D&D 1. There's no more edition wars. And they also said that D&D 1 is gonna be 5th edition, like backwards compatible. You can play 5th edition stuff once one D&D comes out, but that one is kind of difficult to do, especially if there are changes in rules. So there's going to be a lot of adjustments there. But a total reset, no. In lore, we haven't heard anything about it. The only thing that came out so far for 1D&D are like a revamp of races, which they don't call races anymore. It's their races. The term race is not gonna be used anymore. They're gonna use species. So when you create a D&D character, once 1D&D comes out, you have to pick your species and class. That's how it goes. And then background. And then how do I feel about these changes? Well, the changes so far are all mechanical changes. And it's mostly about, the species, race. Again, if in terms of the term changing, I don't really like if it will make more people happy. Like again, you can't please everyone, but if more people will be happier with it, will make them feel inclusive, will make them feel like safe to play the game. Why not? I don't. It's again, it's just a term. It's a like the word itself. If it's harmful to others, then yeah, let's go change it. Because to me, that one I don't really. It doesn't affect me, but if it's affecting others and we can change that, why not, right? In terms of the mechanics themselves, the backgrounds will now give you a feat. So right now in 5th edition, if you choose a background, you just get like some your personality, flaws, all that stuff, and then there's like a small ability that you get, your equipment, proficiencies, language, and stuff. But now you also get a feat, which is what's happening now with the latest source books that are coming out. So that one, I like it. Yeah, but this is where the problem will start, I think. The problem will start because there are the feats will now be level locked, I think, or tier locked. Like if you're level 1 to 4, for example, you can only get certain feats. And ASI, ability score improvement, is now a feat as well. So you can only get these specific feats at this level, and then once you get to level 5 to 10, I'm just making examples here. You get to unlock these feats that you can choose, and then so on and so forth. My problem here is that at the beginning, like when new editions come out, you can keep track of these feats, right? So these feats are listed here. You can just choose 1 to 10. But then when a new source book comes out, gives you more feats, right? Now there's like 20 to 30 feats that you have to consider. All right. And then 3 years later, they release another source book with more feats. So now there are 50 feats. that you have to keep track of. They're like becoming wizard spells basically, right? Or spells in D&D. So now you have to keep track where are they from, and then you have to as a player, that means you have to read through pages and pages of feats and choose which one is better for your character as they level up, which can be like a choice paralysis and or something that will make it difficult for them to choose which one they want to make. So like in character creation in video games, there's so many options. Like if you choose the color of your hair, but they give you like the code for like colors, like they give you like the whole choices. There's like 200 options for hair colors. You just or hairstyles rather. You just pick a random one because there's too many. I feel like feats in 1D&D will be the same way. So there, that's my problem. This is the kind of trouble you're expecting that's absent in Fate because there's no data tables. Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm trying to say. But is D&D gonna copy Fate? I don't think so. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Level locking feats make it so characters have to look at they just level appropriate feats at a time. Yeah, but again, if you have new source book, because now we get a feel of how D&D does it, like with quote unquote expansions that they're making, right? So they will add 5 more feats for first to 4th level adventures, right? Add more feats for tier 2 characters, and so on and so forth. But basically now, as a DM, you could still keep track of it because that's your job. That's what we do as Dungeon Ambassadors. But for the players, that might be too much, especially if you're new. Anyway, and then if you're a min maxer, you're gonna have a good time. Either a good time or a bad time because there's so many options. Hasbro reports that they want to monetize D&D more, so it makes sense for them to power up more supplements. Yeah, and again, that one, that news is a bit. Other people are turned off by that post or that news. But again, that was made like in an investors meeting, right? Where your goal as a company is to make sure that these people invest more on you and believe that your company will generate more money. So I can understand WotC saying that they want to monetize D&D more, which they should. So that means more opportunity for us. Like we get more stuff. Because me as a consumer, I'm willing to give WotC their my money if they can give me a good product. So, but if they're just gonna throw like 10 expansions per month, source books per month, that's hard to digest and consume, and then the quality also is bad. Like, the story, the adventure, everything, even like the physical copy itself is bad, then we're gonna have any problems. But if their way of monetizing D&D more is by creating like more miniatures, miniature deals, or what's this? Virtual tabletop tools, things like that, then that one for me is better, right? So, but yeah, when the monetized D&D, yeah, that phrase, you will immediately assume that that's bad, right? But if you think like a businessman, you think why they're saying that and where they're saying that. If you get the context, it could be a good opportunity for everyone, right? Sure, they can fail. Any business can fail, right? But again, are you saying that they should just not make money from this hobby and just give it all for free. And the reason why we're here is because we like D&D and we're supporting the creators of D&D by giving them our money and purchasing their products, right? So if they can give us more pretty products, quality products, take my money. Yeah. Yeah. So there. Anyway, I've talked too much to chat. And we forgot that we're here to read the adventure. So we're going back and read the adventure because we want to know more. We want to understand this adventure. We are gonna decode this adventure and figure out what's going on. Like, this is actually Moon Shadow's Codex. All right. And we've read through this. Now we're in Skill Challenge Part 3, Searching. We know when these portals come out, when the moon is out, basically. And on a holiday, they're brighter. We know where these Fae portals or moon portals come out, which are like in the Ring of Mushrooms, oddly curved tree branch, or like a broken tree. Now, we just have to look for one. And skill check. And if we are successful to feel the growing energies, all right, and manages to find a few possible locations for a nature check, and oh, this one's nice. If you use perception, you notice the small silver star-shaped flowers indicating the future opening of a portal. The characters who spent time studying the tapestries in the mansion earlier, you get kind of a low DC for it. So that's good. So basically, you just find a portal. And once you do, you complete the challenge. The moon shines down through the trees as there is a sudden rush of air. The fabric of reality tears before your very eyes, revealing a different landscape beyond. All right, we're entering the Feywild. Beyond the portal is the Feywild. And if the characters fail to get all successes, Randall finds the portal on his own shortly after. Okay. And that's it. And they get the lodestone of the plains. Encounter 3. Now we are in the Feywild in the domain called Spiderwood. That's where we're at. And this is a combat encounter where we meet some spiders, Daggerthorn Briar, and Feyborn Ethercap. Okay. And a harpy. We have a harpy also. Nice. Okay. The now familiar tug of the locket that Lashana gives the adventurers leads you through many giant spiders' webs and twisted trees. The only path through a clearing ahead takes you past a patch of thorny-looking undergrowth. Okay. The characters have crossed the path of warband attached to the Fomorian army, heading for the Cloak Wood. Okay. Those creatures are part of the army attacking Beladar Yaira. Is Beladar Yaira... What did we write for Beladar Yaira? Because at first I thought that is a town near Baldur's Gate. Now it looks like it's a town in the Feywild. We know it's an Eladrin city. We keep saying that the moon portal to Spiderwood is located, but we're already in Spiderwood. So it's also an Eladrin city, so it should be... If it's in the Feywild, there shouldn't be a portal to Spiderwood, right? It's already in the Feywild. Let me read chat. No, the supposedly tribeless isle, that is Gwyneth. That's the island. All right. Isn't the town on the border between the material and the Feywild? It's kind of in both. Okay. That's what we agreed on. I remember that. Okay. So Spiderwood, Beladar Yaira, material plane, right? Are we on the same page on that? I think that's the understanding for now. That's where we're trying to get. And okay. Giant webs. The webs are impassable. So this is a combat encounter. We're not really going to read much to it. The Harpy and the Ethercap both know about the Dagger Briar. Okay. Scaling the encounter. At the end of the encounter, we can interrogate these creatures. The Harpies can speak. They lie, pretending to live nearby. Okay. If convinced or coerced, they admit they recruited the other creatures for an imminent attack of a moon elf settlement. Look at this. Look at this. All right. They admit that they recruited other creatures for an imminent attack on a moon elf settlement somewhere in the human world, in the material plane. All right. All right. Thanks, Korgol. Thanks for joining. Good night. And I hope this settlement that they're talking about is not Beladar Yaira, because moon elves and Eladrins are different. Okay. She works for a powerful witch named Karyana. Karyana, I think. Karyana is the copy of Lashana. Yeah. So we're not sure if this moon elf settlement is Beladar Yaira, which that would mean that this is another typo, or it's a totally different settlement, which means this is getting more confusing. Okay, because that means there's multiple places that we're talking about. And yeah, it's basically the adventure is all over the place. On the body of one of the harpies, the characters can find a map of the Spiderwood with a number of gates indicated. This information is highly valuable to Hadarai and Randall. Though the locations of the gates in the Spiderwood appear on the map, where they lead is not indicated. All right. If the party is defeated, a group of creatures loyal to Moonshadow comes in and defeat the creatures and rescue them. Got it. The character should learn about Karyana's impending attack on the settlement. The characters killed all the creatures. One of the harpies has a note. Okay. So the characters need to know that Karyana is attacking the settlement. Got it. Got the harpies, the stats, everything. Encounter 4, Moonshadow. So Moonshadow is, I think it's going to be here. All right. So includes, all right, so we have Moonshadow as the stats. Outside the lair stands a statue of Lashana as she was centuries ago. Okay. Those who are still with me. It's two things. One, I'm really, really dumb and cannot understand this adventure, or having a hard time understanding this adventure. Or two, it's just difficult to digest this adventure. So let's try to understand what's going on so far. So right now, if we find, I'm just assuming again, right? If we find Moonshadow here, Moonshadow's lair is in Spiderwood. Spiderwood is in the Feywild. Spiderwood is the one who made Spiderwood, or Spiderwood is the Feywild domain of Lashana. Right? So Moonshadow is currently staying at Lashana's Feywild domain, which is Spiderwood. Meanwhile, Lashana is binded in the Moonshadow mansion, which is not in Spiderwood. And based on the last encounters we read, I think Moonshadow Mansion is just in the material world. It's in Alaron right now. It's in Derigal Forest. That's it. So what I'm seeing here is that Lashana is living in Moonshadow's place. Meanwhile, Moonshadow is living in Lashana's place. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. And then there's these Fomorians and other Fey army led by a copy of Lashana that wants to destroy a Moon Elf settlement. Got it. So that's where we're at so far. Outside the lair of statue of Lashana as she was centuries ago, a crumbling 12-foot tall statue lies in a clearing. It depicts a beautiful Eladrin woman wearing a tiara covered in carved spiders. A more recent addition to the statue, perhaps a couple of 100 years old, is a heavy iron chain wrapped around it. The statue is broken into a few pieces, and the chain has been partially torn off. Beyond where the statue stood is a cave entrance with a heavy iron door with a keyhole. Now, remember, Lashana is binded in the Moonshadow mansion. And she's binded there while her statues are covered in chains. And it was mentioned, in the first part of the adventure, that a Fomorian accidentally broke one of these statues. That's why Lachey was kind of able to move freely in the mansion. Okay. But what I didn't expect is that the statues are actually in her domain. Okay. And then the mansion is it's not even in the Feywild, it's in the material plane. Okay. Beyond where the statue stood is a cave entrance with a heavy iron door with a keyhole. Characters that played MOON1-5 who investigated the statue noticed a strong resemblance to Cariana. Repairing the statue. They can repair the statue. But whether they recreate it makes the magical bond recreates the magical bond remains unclear. But it has no effect in Lashana. It's not bound through Moonshadow's ritual. Okay. Entering the lair. So we go through the cave. There are traps, alarm traps. We can disable them. Knowing that one day his binding wards would fail, Moonshadow placed wards on some of his protections. One such item is a locket Lashana gave to the characters to find him. Thus, as soon as the characters entered the Feywild, Moonshadow believed that Lashana was free. He does not know that she is only partially free. He began to prepare his defenses to face her or her agents. I like Moonshadow. I don't like the adventure. The characters find Moonshadow in his lair. He's not sure which character is Lashana. So he spreads around his attacks until Lashana reveals herself. Of course, she cannot since none of the characters are actually Lashana. Yeah, Moonshadow knows how to prep. I like that. That's like super big head because he's thinking like hundreds of years into the future, right? I know this will happen few centuries from now. Here, ex-girlfriend, let me give you my locket so that I know that when you're free, you'll probably give it to one of your henchmen to find me, and that will give me a warning. You know, Elvin Batman. Spider-Man. Oh no, that's already taken. You can't use that, Moonshadow. Shadows, Spider-Man Noir. Moonshadow, sorry. So set up, present the encounter. Got it. Important note, Moonshadow is presented as a minion in spite of his great experience as an adventurer. In his prime, Moonshadow would have been a very deadly foe, but his health is precarious. To make things worse, the last of his vitality was lost while fighting the Fomorian army. He falls to the ground as soon as he is successfully hit by an attack. Oh no, just one attack? Alright, so we go into combat, we fight him a bit, and then once it's done, he runs, like Moonshadow, while you're fighting him, he has lines like, "You will never escape. Let us finish what we started," because he thinks that Lashana is with the adventures. "You'll be trapped forever and show yourself." All right, okay. And Moonshadow should appear like a deranged old Eladrin. And the characters have no way of knowing that his ravings are directed to Lashana. Got it. And then at the end of the encounter, because of his advanced age, Moonshadow dies. Oh no! Moonshadow dies as soon as he takes damage. Oh no! Whether that damage is lethal or non-lethal. The only thing that we like in this adventure dies. Am I cursed? Oof. Alright, whether that damage is lethal or non-lethal, his advanced age and the rigors of combat prove too much for him, and his body dies from the stress. Because he dies of old age more than damage, Moonshadow cannot be brought back to life through race dead ritual. Huh? Oh my god. Moonshadow's voice is raspy and labored. He tells the characters the following How? I thought he died. Am I reading it wrong? Let me read chat. Moonshadow dies. Not unconscious. So how is he gonna tell me all this stuff? Alright, so dying. I think he's dying, yeah. So, he's not yet dead. He's not yet dead. Alright. So when we hit him, he's not yet dying. Oh, no, sorry. He's not yet dead. He's dying. Okay. Less guilty. This was written by English speakers, guys. We don't know. We don't know. Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe it was written by someone not from the US. We don't know. We can assume. We're gonna assume yes. Okay. Anyway, going back on the adventure, he now knows that Lashana is not among the characters. Lashana is a powerful Lamia who once ruled over the Spiderwood. She has power over spiders instead of beetles, as is common among her race. Moonshadow managed to magically bind her to his mansion 300 years ago with two magical artifacts. The first is an amulet made from Lashana's hair. This amulet is magically linked to a living spellcaster who acts as the keeper and is effective as long as the keeper does not die. Okay? Moonshadow, if you're the keeper, you're not supposed to be dying. Alright. There is a ritual for transferring the amulet to another keeper. The transfer ritual is detailed in a book in Moonshadow's library, hidden by the secret page ritual, which is his library. I'm assuming is in his mansion, or there's another library here in his lair. After the death of the keeper, there's a short delay before the binding spell fails, probably between 1 to 3 days. Oh, got it. The amulet binds her to the mansion. The second magical artifact is the chain that was wrapped around her statue just outside. That bound her to a cell in the mansion and prevented her powers from affecting anything outside the cell. If the statue could be repaired and the chain once more wrapped around it, she should return to her cell when killed. He was badly injured in his recent battle with an army of dark and evil fae led by Fomorian overlords. Oh, that one is... I'm interested in that. The Moonshadow does not know this army is headed to the Cloakwood. Okay. Are you reading this? The Moonshadow does not know this army is headed to Cloakwood. He was looking for someone to transfer the burden of Lashana's imprisonment to. Moonshadow dies after sharing this information. Alright, he dies again. To find the ritual, the characters must return to the mansion and find the book Moonshadow spoke of in the library. Alright, so we have to go back to the mansion. And Moonshadow has a wand of Eldritch Rain. Oh, is this like a spell or something? A wand of Eldritch Rain. And a ritual book containing enchant magic item. Got it. Among other things, Moonshadow took from the Fomorian allies. The characters find a low-level Cloak of Survival and Battle Strider Greaves. Cool stuff. Okay. We're trying to decode this adventure. Moonshadow knows that this army, which is a Fomorian army, is heading towards Cloakwood. If we read the previous encounter, the Harpy told us... Where's our interrogation? The Harpies told us that there's an imminent attack in a settlement somewhere in the human world. Okay. So they're not moon elves, they're Eladrins, or we don't know which one is the typo. But they're heading towards Cloakwood, which is near Baldur's Gate. Oof. What's this? One creature or two creatures no more than 5 squares apart of each other. You fire purple rays of eldritch power at your foes. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's a small AoE, but yeah, it's like... It's still a cool attack. But now we're not going to know who is Moonshadow's patron, because he's a warlock. Yeah. Showdown. Encounter 5. Okay. Is this the final encounter? Not sure. So, thorn blights, spider swarms. All right, we're finding Lady Lashana and possibly Randall here. That's not good. Or good for us because finally, all right. We the title of this adventure is Lost Love. And I think this love deserves to be lost. All right. I don't want to be trapped in this scenario again. Randall can be redeemed. Can I'm afraid, if we start cheering for Randall, he might also die. The moment we started liking Moonshadow because he's good at prepping, he dies. So I got caught off guard there. So now we're gonna be a bit cautious. All right. Now Randall might be redeemed, but let's expect that he will also die. Okay. We won't get our hearts broken twice in one adventure. All right, reading. The characters return to the mansion and have a final showdown with Lashana in Moonshadow Mansion's library, where the characters did some of their research in Encounter 2. Got it. You finally find Lady Lashana in the library. No longer is she old and dying. Instead, she appears young and filled with radiant beauty found only in Fey women. And she's not pleased. You have failed. I am still not free. He should have been dead. Your death may be the key. Randall, kill them. And as that happens, there's all bookshelves here. There's not really cool stuff there. Tactics. During this fight, Randall fights next to Lashana. He can be convinced at any time to turn from her. It should be obvious that the characters that he would rather not fight them. Yes, we don't want to fight Randall, and he feels the same way. In Encounter 2, Lashana made lockets for some characters. For the same character, she made some of Lashana's lockets. See the new rules section. Got it. Lashana uses those lockets as soon as she can, saving none. If the characters allowed Lashana to create a locket from their hair, Lashana gains a bit of power over them, and as an immediate interrupt, when Lashana is attacked by a character she has a locket for, she can deflect the attack from that character onto the target adjacent to her. Okay. Matter his ultimate choice. Once Lashana falls, Randall throws down his sword and surrenders. Okay. Looks like Randall will survive. Yeah, we kill Randall. well, not quite, because if we kill Lashana first, we can save Randall, right? But the way it was set up, it's Randall who will attack us first. And if we're bad at noticing what's going on, we will kill Randall. Oh, man. Okay, I knew it. Randall has been told a number of lies by Lashana, and he believes the characters are tied to a curse that affects Lashana. Yet he's not fully convinced it is possible to convince Randall to change sides during the battle. A character can use standard action to take part of the skill challenge. And yep, that's a DC. When the characters obtain 4 successes, Randall acts as if stunned until the end of his next turn. However, if he's attacked while stunned, it counts as 1 failure. Until Randall switches sides every round on his turn. That's 4 rounds. At least. Minimum. Randall pleads the characters to surrender. And chooses to knock characters unconscious rather than kill them. Okay. Ending the encounter. Experience points. That's it. There are some new rules. I don't know where that new rules are. Or did we just read it? That's it. This is the new rules. Okay. Stats. Showdown map. So where are we? R is Randall. B and 1. Oh, the Blightthorns and stuff. Yeah, Lashana. Okay, got it. This is a library, but there's a like big table with food on them. Nice. I want a library like that. There's like a feast table, and then just shelves upon shelves upon shelves. Right? That one's cool. All right. Aftermath. So, conclusion. I think this is the last encounter. So this encounter assumes the characters have not killed Randall. If Randall was killed in the previous encounter, proceed to the troubleshooting section. Alright, we have a troubleshooting section. Yeah. All libraries should have a buffet, right? Unlimited shrimp, some crabs, and like California rolls. Those things. Yeah. Speaking of, I would like to thank my wife because my wife just ordered me pork katsudon for me to eat after the stream. So, thank you. She's basically the sponsor of the stream. This particular stream is sponsored by my wife for for buying me dinner or late night snack. It's 2 a.m. Yeah. In there. So see, it's not a bad place to live. If you're here in the Philippines, you get to order pork katsudon at like 2 a.m. delivered to your house. It's not that bad, right? It's it's a good boon to have if you live here. Anyway, going back. This one assumes that Randall is still alive. Ordered Burger King last night at 3 a.m. See, Burger King still open 3 a.m. Right? Good stuff. And you don't have to leave your house. Onion rings are pog. But yeah, onions are expensive now here in the Philippines. Anyway, going back, I want to go back. Let's finish this. All right, we will finish this, chat. Let's finish this. This one. Once Lashana is killed, she returns to life. Yes, we remember that she respawns within a month's time, or plenty of time for us. Unless Moonshadow's wards are reestablished, Lashana gains more freedom as time goes by until she is free. To bind Lashana, one person must volunteer to serve as keeper. Moonshadow's notes have all the rituals needed. The characters can spend a few days to find them. Moonshadow's notes are strongly geared towards an Eladrin or elf, though half-elf or other fae is also acceptable, taking on the burden. This guy is being choosy. You know what? I need you to take on the burden of making sure that this archfey, possibly an archfey, trap in this mansion. But I want to make sure the one who takes this burden is an elf or fae. Cannot be anyone else. I want to make sure that the one who suffers is an elf or an eldrin or someone fae. Yeah. If no character accepts the responsibility, Randall. Oh no! That's why he's here. If nobody in the party accepts the responsibility, Randall is the one who'll do it. And Randall is an Eladrin. Too bad. I kind of remember that that Rick and Morty meme, that tiny robot that provides butter that asks, "What is my purpose?" This is Randall's purpose. What is my purpose? To be the new keeper. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Poor Randall. All right. Only one PC can accept this responsibility. All right. Got it. This. Why did you work for her? So it looks like when it says that in the like first part of the adventure, it says that Randall was dominated by Lashana. But from here, it doesn't look like it's through a spell or curse or anything. It's just, I think it's just through like convincing Randall or telling lies to Randall. So it's just deception and persuasion and probably intimidation as well, right? Can we at least visit? We'll see if we can visit the mansion. This question can be. She's kind of not gonna lie. Yeah. Randall's like, oh, another Eladrin that's older than me. You know? Maybe she's living alone in this mansion. Maybe she needs a companion. So, and now, but yeah, Randall does admit that he really yeah, that's basically it. And as she is a Fey princess, he thinks that she may have used magic to affect his behavior. All right, he thinks that there may be magic involved. But really, it's just Randall is just trying to get laid from the looks of it. This adventure is a big roller coaster. Like, what is going on? Okay, where was I? But he admits that he was acting. All right, this is so all over the place. He thinks she may have used magic to affect his behavior, but he admits that he was acting on his own free will. Okay. Believing that she could help him in his quest. Right. Your quests for Lord Hadarai or another quest. Alright. He regrets hurting any characters and promises to make amends in the future. If the characters share information about the portals, Randall gives each character the promised 50 gold pieces. And then, if Randall is dead, this is the troubleshooting part. A relative of Moonshae also... Wow. Now, this is just... I don't know if they're making fun of us or this is poor writing. What's going on here? It's like... You know what? I'm sick and tired of writing this adventure. I'm sick and tired of coming up with NPC names. just do this. I don't want to think of like believable solutions, scenarios. Let's just put this. If Randall is dead, a relative of Moonshae, who is also called Moonshae, arrives at the mansion shortly afterward. If the characters are not taking up the burden of the binding, the younger Moonshae takes on the responsibility. Okay. Troubleshooting. If Lashana TPK the adventurers or something. If the characters were defeated in the previous encounter, Lashana breaks free and escapes, using the character's research to return to the Spiderwood, where she reasserts her authority. Although Moonshaes do not suffer immediately, there's no doubt Lashana already plots her revenge. I don't know. I don't know what we're reading anymore. Ending the encounter. New Keeper. The moon rises in the sky. Let's go with Randall. Because Randall is the coolest one here. The coolest NPC we have that is still alive. Semi-alive. Alright. The moon rises in the sky as Randall stands in the middle of you. The others intone the short chant that will bind you as the new keeper of Lashana. The words rise to start in the darkness. At first there is nothing. Then a mist-like veil made of starlight rains down on Randall. The starlight forms into 1,000 little spiders. As Randall comes out of the circle, his pupils now shaped like a spider with silver legs. Oh, that's a cool Sharingan Randall gets from that. Okay. And if the entire D&D movie doesn't have stupid hijinks, I'd be admitting that they've never played D&D before. Yeah. Conclusion: at the end of the adventure, Lashana is either magically bound again, or Lashana is free. Remind those players who have not yet played Bald 1-5 that the major quest continues there. Those characters who have played this adventure and Bald 1-5 should be encouraged to complete this quest in the Paragon tier adventure Bald 2-1. Title to be announced. This looks like a draft. I think what we got here is a draft. That's why we're making fun of it a bit. We're kind of judging it poorly, kind of saying that it's bad, but I have a feeling that, and this is not something that was published to the public. I hope this is just a draft. Because if I'm writing like my first draft on an adventure, it will look exactly like this. Like with more like errors and stuff. But seeing like the titles, the TBA and stuff, I have a feeling that this is just a draft. Yeah. Yep. And although the lodestone of the plains was given to the characters by Lashana, it still must be taken as a treasure bundle. Okay, if they want to keep it. Got it. And that's it. That's the end of the adventure. The bundles, which is like you can only get one item here. Cloak of Survival. Guardian Shield? There's a Guardian Shield in Encounter 3. I know the Greaves. I know the Rain, Lodestone, Cloak of Survival, Wand of Eldritch Rain. Yeah, but I did not see the shield. Did you guys see it? Encounter 3. Let's go back. Oh, it's there. Okay. Yeah, we just kind of passed by. Okay. All right. And then what else do we have? Story Awards, Keeper of Lashana. You have undergone a ritual that binds Lashana to Moonshadow Mansion. As a result of this ritual, your pupils are now shaped like a spider. Awesome. If you have no pupils, you now have some that are light purple. Though there's no innate bonus or penalty for this, some people may react positively or negatively to this. Should you die for any reason, the bonds that bind Lashana weaken. Each time you die, check one of the boxes below. Oh, 5 times. But yeah, what's this? If, like for fluff, if for example, I have a character that that worships Lolt. So if I want to have, like thematically, I want to have like, like spider eyes, I would definitely play this adventure. It's just for the fluff. That's it. Moonshadow's research. You have studied many notes, loose scrolls, side notes. Okay, was going to compile into his grand codex. Although more details of the Island of Elrond and the Moonshaes can be used elsewhere. All right. So we don't know. The last thing we know is that the codex is in the Moonshadow Mansion, and the Moonshadow Mansion is in the Island of Elrond in the forest. Okay. Oh, these are the new rules for the lodestone, rituals. Okay, got it. Player handouts, we read this. And chance encounter. There's a chance encounter that I've read. Let me just... I need to adjust the PDF so you can read it. Cut out each section and then May refer to Encounter 2 for details. I won't tell you where I got these eyes, but I really like Lolt. Meanwhile, an Eldred quietly cries, stuck in the mansion. Yeah. Well, if you're a follower of Lolt, Lolt is an evil deity, so makes sense. As you're going around the house, you come across Lady Lashana busy working on her embroideries. She looks up and invites you to sit with her for a moment. Oh, this is how Randall got manipulated by Lashana. After a few pleasantries, she asks you if you would agree to follow her to create a small token for you, similar to one that she gave to the party to find Moonshadow and the one she asked you to retrieve. This is the locket. This is the locket. Okay. If the characters accepted this, would Randall at least come over every now and then? Depends. Are you like a long silver-haired Eladrin with like cool glowing eyes? Oh yeah, you will have cool glowing eyes if you become the keeper. Second one, the one on the right. As you are going around the house, you come across Lady Lashana busy working on her embroideries. Oh, it's the same. Cut each out section hand to the characters and you find. Okay, so that's the same. Just cutouts. And let me pull this back here. And that ends Moon1-5 Lost Love. That is the end of the adventure. It took us 3 hours to kind of absorb, read through it, learn, get distracted, and decipher this adventure. But although it was a bit challenging, that was fun. I had fun. Unfortunately, sad part there is we don't have time to read Moon1-6, which is what I'm really excited about. Is this part of the Fisherman's plan? Delay us so that we will not learn the Fisherman's identity. Like as soon as we start getting interest in the fishermen, they give us a filler episode. And yeah. So yeah, send us to a filler arc because hey, we don't want you learning about us and that spy, my spy. So there. Anyway, that is it for the stream. Thank you everyone for staying. I really appreciate that. Chat is very lively today, which is good. That helped me a lot in staying sane in this adventure. So thank you very much for staying. And tomorrow, so we do the stream every Monday to Thursday, 11 p.m. Manila time, and that's going to be 10 a.m. Eastern time. EST. So Monday to Thursday, if you want to join me, read more adventures. If this is your kind of stream that you like to watch, you are more than welcome to stay here every Monday to Thursday and learn about the Moonshae Isles with me and chat your fellow sages. So that's it. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 p.m. Manila, 10 a.m. EST. We will discuss Moon1-6, the Black Heart. Yeah, that is the title, Black Heart. So, goodbye, everyone. See you tomorrow. Thanks for staying. And yeah, peace.